Well, welcome to ATGLive, your Thursday night home for everything Star Wars. We do we have conversations, we chat with people, we do what do?
We tell you what's wrong with your life. We'll fix you. This is right. You've come to the right place. We're here to fix you.
You can dial
Ask us
in
your questions, we'll tell you the answers.
Correct. We'll be your Star Wars kind of therapist.
I'm your life coach now. That's it.
Right.
We're your master. You're the Padawan. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. And we also do Star Wars news.
We can report the news. We love reporting the news.
Yes, we do love reporting the news. So you're going to get the news of the week with us here on ATGLive. And we occasionally have special co-hosts, and tonight we're joined by our friend. You'll remember her from the Star Wars Sports Ball Fantasy League, where I don't feel like we appropriately gave her enough information to be competitive. That's but right. Next year she's going to kick our asses. Here is Kelsey Puckett. Kelsey, how are you?
I'm doing well, and hey, we don't mention that draft, all right?
First one's free. The next one you're paying for it. That's how it works.
Okay. I mean, I drafted the team like how I would draft, like not like what was popular. So,
and if we're being completely honest, and everybody who's watching right now, you're familiar with the draft that we did. Kelsey really did have the best team because she drafted from the heart.
Team. Yes,
she made the pure good choices. Pete and I built this system, so we were being a little more strategic. We were playing to the crowd and the audience and whatever it was. It wasn't fair. We're going to be prepared for next year. We've already got some ideas for how we're going to do this again in the fall.
All right. Well, I took that very personally, so I will be coming with it.
Well, at least you came back on the show a couple times to come and talk to us.
You're still willing to hang out.
Yeah. I really thought it had been long enough, though, that you would have forgotten about it. It's all right.
But here we are bringing it up again. We're the a-holes based on the Reddit question. Am I the asshole?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you guys are the bullies. It's okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That hurts. That hurts.
Back in our place, right where we belong.
Well, speaking of hanging out, let's bring up Chris just to say hello. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Pete.
Yes, there it is. Yes. What's going on?
I'm doing fantastic, Pete.
Okay.
Here's what I decided. I'm good. Here's what I decided after last week.
Yes.
I wish that I had the skills to be like one of those caricature artists that draw like the caricatures like when you're at the mall or the Jersey Shore on the boardwalk or wherever it is, because the next t-shirt or sticker that we need to have in our store is a caricature of Chris, and it just needs to say Pete with a bunch of dots. Like that's the next shirt that I want to create, and I need to figure out how to make that happen.
Sounds like my assistant's there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Excellent.
Make some magic happen.
Looks
for
like
sure.
we're making some connections here. Well, awesome. Well, Chris, keep people in line in the chat. I don't want any shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Maybe just a little bit of shenanigans.
He was watching Scotty at Chili's. Okay, awesome. That was probably an exciting show. So thanks, Chris. We're going to get to the news and our toast and stuff. And thanks for hanging out, brother. So so make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff you're supposed to do. You can find us at the SSW Network. You are on our YouTube channel right now. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you're over on Twitter watching us, that's awesome. We're glad you're with us. But why don't you come on over to Twitter so you can be part, or to YouTube so you can be part of the conversation. We do this shenanigans that's twice I've used the word shenanigans tonight. I think that's the word of the night. Hey Brian, what's up? So like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. you know what's next? It's a new month, which means we have a new toast. And silly me, just for the record, before this gets out of hand,
Yep.
I have given up alcohol for Lent. And
Oh.
that may be a really bad idea. In fact, my daughter this evening, she was like, "You're not having a
Are
beer
you
with
sure?
dinner." I'm like, "Are you?" Which is like one of those kind of, hey, that's kind of funny, but it's kind of
Yeah.
sad at the same time.
Yeah, it was her millennial version of bro. Are you okay?
Yeah. So,
You good?
but so Nick, what is this month?
Well, we've parlayed this whole thing. Matt says Mon March, and that's a great callback to our sports ball draft and my pick of Mon Mothma. We're not going to go there because Kelsey straight up gave me some slag about it that I probably deserved. Brian says Mon March month. These are excellent choices, by the way.
We did not think of them.
We didn't, but there's really only one way to go in this, and it is indeed Imperial March.
Yes.
You know, it's iconic in every way. It's the month of March. I'm excited about next month. We've got a great one. I feel like this is actually somebody that we're going to have to get Kelsey back in the month of April for, you know, what our April theme is going to be. But right now it's Imperial March, and it's the first week of Imperial March. So I know Pete has put together a little sting for us. I haven't seen it yet, which I'm excited about. It's new. I'm doing this tonight. And so here's the thing with Imperial March.
Yeah.
Pick an Imperial figure. The whole point of this is we're throwing an action figure in a beer. We're chugging it in 9 to 10 seconds. We're going to play some audio. It's going to be dumb. We've done Snoketoberfest, November, Darthcember, and Dodanuary.
Oh, she's got Imperial Light beer. Look at that.
Yeah,
She was ready.
So, figure. I made this choice for Chris tonight because I texted Pete literally like 3 hours ago, and I was like, I don't know what figure I'm going to use for Imperial March. There's only one real choice, and it is the Emperor.
Don't do it.
I need Chris.
Don't. Are you going to open
it? I am going to open it because, first of all, let's be clear. This isn't the Honus Wagner T208. This isn't my retirement. This isn't something that's going to sit in my attic. Yeah. But here's what I need. Here's what I need to bring to attention. Chris is always worried about germs and diseases and what am I going to die from. So far, I'm still here.
Sick from that.
This one's fresh in the package, never used, hasn't sat moldy in a glass or a box. So
no, just in the plastic. It's only set in
but here's my favorite. Here's my favorite part about this too.
Yeah,
it straight up just says the Emperor. I love that. That's all that it says. It doesn't say Palpatine.
How old
it doesn't
is that?
say Emperor Palpatine. This is 2021. This is vintage collection. This is not that old.
All right,
but it says the Emperor on it. So
yeah, I can't.
For my toast tonight, Chris can't watch it. It's fine. And this is a little bit of a fine line too, because as Pete discovered with his Snoke figure, this particular Emperor does have the soft goods.
I still have my little Snoke coat on my desk. And
the coat on your desk. So here's the problem. Yeah. Palpatine also has the cloth soft goods, but I don't think I can take them off.
Oh no!
So this may only last a week or two, but it's Imperial March. We have our beer.
Okay. Kelsey, what are you drinking? What are you putting in your beer, Kelsey?
Oh, I showed you my Imperial beer that I have. Since I'm living out of a suitcase right now, this is my figure. This is an Imperial action figure.
I love it.
It'll be
force hand and everything.
Fine. All right. So you tell me
when force hands. In the package, we have Palpatine's other hands with the lightning bolts attached and his cane, and those are choking hazards. So, kids, we're not going to do that.
That looks a mess. This might stop you from beating your record, man.
This might be the end of it. This might be the end of it. We're going to see. This cape could be a problem, but Chris's reactions are what make this every single week. But when we make these toasts, not only is it about chugging a beer with an action figure in 10 seconds, it's also about raising a legitimate toast. And in the month of Imperial March, while we are in a part of the world, in our real world life, where there's a lot of shit going on, there's a lot of scary stuff out in the world, I am raising my toast this week to Congressman Al Green from Texas. He is the congressman who stood up during the president's address to the House and Senate the other night. He was censured today. That's a bunch of bullshit because fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene has been loud and obnoxious way too many times and nobody said anything. that is someone who stood up, standing up against the Empire, standing up against the nonsense that's out there. So for my Imperial March toast, this is to Congressman Al Green from Texas. Pete, hit us with that drop.
Here we go.
It's the system, and I'm sure Skywalker is with them. Set your course for the Hoth system. General Veers, prepare your men. Admiral.
He did it. Didn't die. There she goes. She got it.
Yes. Nailed it.
This is
I think
why.
I choked on that Sour Patch Kid.
Yep. And in the meantime, this guy.
Yeah, what happened to Pal? Oh, God.
Yeah, he's drippy.
Man.
It's a problem. We're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to get another one. That's pretty gross.
Yeah, this is going to be a week-to-week situation. We have a different Imperial next week. Fantasy, we're going to have at some point, we're going to have like a Patreon chug-off, and we'll get Brian in here because let's go. I'm all about it.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? We're going to take a real quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do the news of the week. We are hanging with Kelsey. And also a little later in the show, Nick has created a little game for Kelsey and I to play. And I'm calling it Finish the Quote. Is that, should we go with
works.
That works.
That's
I mean, it's not very creative, but we're going to play a little game and we want to play with you guys in the chat as well. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hit the news for the week. So we'll be back in just a moment with more ATG Live.
What's up, my fellow Gen X Star Wars fam? My name is Chris Rhines from Broaxium. You may know me from ATG's Force Connect that I co-hosted with Pete and Nick. Now, I'm the owner and operator of Broaxium Outpost, an online shop for all your action figure and collectibles needs like Star Wars Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Star Wars Vintage Collection, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series and Vintage Collection, Transformers Studio Series, Star Wars lightsabers and helmets, Masters of the Universe, and much, much more, including Star Wars action. All right, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm just saying. Stop by and check out the store at www.broaxiumoutpost.com. Sign up to become a part of the Bounty Hunters Guild and stay updated on new pre-orders, sales, and exclusive Broaxium content. Find something you like? Use the promo code ATG10 for 10% off your first order. We have Star Wars figures, by the way.
Well, welcome back to ATG Live. Look, we've said it before. You're going to buy this stuff anyway. Buy it from our friend Chris. And look at him. Come on, look at that face. Come on. Buy some shit from Chris.
Yeah, buy it. Just don't put it in your fucking beers. But I mean, don't fucking do.
You know, look
at him. Look how happy he looks in there. It's like Vader's chamber.
He's drowning.
I even got the camera to focus. This is a good sign. Everything's working right now. I don't know. Just
that needs to be your new profile picture. Just holding up. You know, I did while we were on the break. I took the Snoke cape and I put it on my Momon Nadon, and so
dude, that totally works. Yeah, you've created a new situation that's I'm totally in favor of.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Okay, we're
grown-ups, by the way.
Yeah. So
allegedly.
In theory. Hashtag maybe grown-ups.
So Kelsey, you're gonna be working Hurricanes games now? That's
yeah, I'm heading south, so I'm pretty excited. It's a lot warmer awesome. Down there. I don't know. It seems like a good fit for me.
Well, we're excited for you, and hey, we're always here when you need to talk Star Wars. We're here for you, and everybody's hanging out with us. What's that?
I said, well, thank you for being such a cool friend.
Well, it's our pleasure. Well, we are going to do our little segment here that we call Did You Hear That? And it is all about the news of the week. So let's hit a couple stories. Here we go. Oh, that was a mistake. Hi, Chris. There we go. That works a little bit better. So let's see here. So our first story of the week is it's coming up on my screen here. Look at this. I must have the North Carolina internet going on here. All right, here we Well, filmmaker Stephen Knight, who's known for Peaky Blinders and Locke, recently shared his experience working on the upcoming Star Wars film, New Jedi Order, during an exclusive interview with The Playlist. Knight, who had been brought in to help rewrite the script project under director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, praised Lucasfilm and its president, Kathleen Kennedy. So Knight's involvement with the project ended earlier this year as he focused on Peaky Blinders' new film. He described his time working on the Star Wars universe as a thrilling experience. He said, quote, Kathleen Kennedy is a pleasure to work with. Knight said, calling Lucasfilm smart people who know their craft. He also acknowledged the intense fan pressure surrounding the franchise, likening the experience to stepping into a hurricane, but emphasizing how he used that energy to fuel his creative contributions. Knight reflected on the collaborative nature of Star Wars, describing it as a cultural tradition and stressing the importance of contributing without a sense of possessive ego. While the specific details of the contribution remain unclear, he expressed confidence that some of his work will appear in the film. Guys, you know, the common commentary online is that Kathleen Kennedy is difficult to work with. People leave projects because she's demanding, etc. I'm glad to hear that Kathleen Kennedy, in his opinion, was easy to work with, a joy to work with. But what do you think is happening at Lucasfilm right now to have all the, this particular film at this point has gone through what, 3 or 4 writers at least,
third or fourth writer at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that has to come down to just the people not being happy with the product that they're seeing. Then, I mean, they're hoping that at least one of these people can step in and get it closer to what they were envisioning. And like, as far as like people saying she's demanding, like they wouldn't be saying the same thing about a man if he was demanding. Like, I just, that it like has to be said. Like, if someone else like I don't know, if you say like any other male like executive is demanding, like they're like, well, they praise him for basically like him, like his work ethic or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I feel
he knows what he wants, right?
Yeah,
That's what they would say.
They would change the narrative if it were a male in charge, and like I think a lot of that is she's just tired of dealing with it because this is a very passionate fan base.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and Nick, speaking of that, it's interesting to hear, and I'd love your thoughts on hearing a writer, a major writer, being very aware of the fan insanity that's out there, right? I mean, you don't say something like that unless you've seen the conversations online. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think it's impacting others?
It's 100% impacting others. And I think we've seen over a long period of time, certainly more recently, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, we've seen some of the creatives, the actors, the folks that have been impacted by social media, by those loud voices, the squeaky wheels that get, ultimately get the grease.
Yep.
But with a writer, with a creative on that level, I think there's a degree of fandom that's built into that too. I think it tells me that Stephen Knight is a Star Wars fan who has been connected enough on some level to social media, some of the outcry to go, yeah, I know this is fraught with potential peril, but I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take a stab at it. I'm willing to, because I'm interested in this property. I'm interested in this opportunity to, stake an opportunity to try and do something about it. So it's encouraging to me because that feels like I know what I'm getting into. And, not everybody does that. Sometimes you get into and go, holy crap, I'm over my head and this is a bigger deal. It feels like he kind of knew what he was getting into and he was willing to take a stab at it. Because like we said, we're on a 3rd or 4th writer at this point, taking a pass. And that's the other thing. And kind of coming back to what Kelsey said, in the environment that I work in my job in healthcare, we have people that like, it's tough to be held to a standard, but here's the deal. We have a job to do. In my profession, we're trying to save lives.
Yep.
If you don't want to do your job, you have to be held to a standard. So you may think Kathy Kennedy's, a hard ass to work for, but guess what? She has a job to do. She's got a standard she's trying to uphold things to. It doesn't mean she's a terrible person. It means this is a job and we're professionals and we're trying to get something done.
100%. 100%. All right. Well, let's move on to
Peaky Blinders is fantastic. So I feel like I have all the in him with this.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, and again, as Nick was saying, these people are fans, and it comes out, and I'd rather have fans working on it and so deeply committed to it that they're going to work their butts off to get there. So cool. All right, let's hit our next story. Well, Star Wars Celebration in Japan is coming up. Excitement is building for Star Wars Celebration 2025, with Lucasfilm officially confirming the 4 key panels set to take center stage at the highly anticipated event, taking place at the Makuhuri, I'm sorry if I messed that up, Messe in Japan from April 18th through the 20th. This year's celebration is seen as a crucial moment for the franchise, following a challenging year for Star Wars. Lucasfilm has announced the 4 major ticketed panels that will deliver the biggest updates. And for those who have never been to a Star Wars celebration, there's usually 1 panel per day, or sometimes 2, which are the major events that take place in the main hall in the arena. This year on Friday, April 18th, there will be one about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. On Saturday, April 19th, Andor: A Star Wars Story will be featured in one panel, and a second panel featuring Ahsoka. And on Sunday, the 20th, a first look at Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Notably, the absence of the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase, which has been a staple for the major franchise announcements in previous years, suggests a shift in focus. Instead of unveiling new projects, Lucasfilm appears to be doubling down on generating excitement for confirmed productions. What a great idea. The Mandalorian and Grogu panel is expected to reveal significant casting details for Star Wars theatrical return in 2026. Andor Season 2, which is premiering just days after Celebration on April 22nd, will likely share some exclusive footage. And meanwhile, Ahsoka Season 2, which is rumored to start filming later this year, could feature some concept art and updates from Dave Filoni. Finally, Star Wars Visions Volume 3 is expected to drop on May 4th and may give attendees an early look at a full episode. While the showcase is missing, major reveals are still likely, ensuring that Star Wars Celebration is a place you must be as a fan in 2025. Nick, you and I, when this list came out, we both kind of were like, no surprises in that at all.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't, for me, it wasn't anything earth-shattering, and I've been to a couple of celebrations. We've got friends going to this one in Japan. In fact, JD says, in the chat, he's pumped. He's getting things finalized for his trip.
Awesome.
It feels pretty safe. It feels pretty straightforward. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be surprises along the way. That doesn't mean there's not going to be some other panels, some other reveals. We know Andor Season 2 drops on April 22nd, which is right after Celebration in Japan ends. So, we were in Anaheim a couple years ago. We got to see the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, at Celebration at that panel. We got to be a part of that. But when I saw these, I went, it feels pretty safe. And I don't know, I don't want to be too critical. I don't want to say, oh, it's Japan, it's the other side of the world. And, there's a bunch of Japanese Star Wars fans. I'm not taking away from them. But for the other half of the world that is a Star Wars fan, is this, is it kind of a thing because we're coming back and in, 2 years from now, it's going to be 2027. It's going to be 50 years of Star Wars.
Right.
Is that going to be where we're going to get bigger things? I'm excited for it. If they stream it, I'm going to watch it. If they don't, I'm going to be checking social media, trying to find out who leaked a clip, who did whatever. But when I saw those first initial, 4 releases, I went, okay, cool. Like it wasn't a huge reveal, but that's also not how you do huge reveals. Huge reveals are left for in the room. So, yeah.
Any thoughts on this sort of approach, Kelsey?
First of all, that's a fine for that burp there.
Yeah, it was. Yep. We'll blame it on this guy right here.
No, I mean, I think you kind of covered it. They did play it a little safe, but I still think it's probably going to be a pretty fun experience for the fans. And I mean, just the artwork alone, like I'm looking at it's like I wish I could fly out to Japan for just even one of those posters.
100%.
They're like, I don't know. I've never seen artwork like that I was like, yeah, I can probably drop 1,000 on this flight, right?
Just for the pass. Great artwork.
Yeah. What's the line of responsibility here?
Yeah.
But I think there is something to be said. I think Lucasfilm is looking at two things. Number one, I think, we were referencing it a little bit on the previous story, but they've been burned before. They don't want to come out and talk about all these things that are not coming or will be coming. Second thing is, I think it's a direct shift in the way Star Wars is going to move. I think we're going to see fewer things every year, and I think they are going to make bigger deals out of them. So I think that the Mandalorian and Grogu panel will be sort of like when they had the Last Jedi panel, and I think they're going to get a trailer. I think we're going to get some big stuff out of it. I think it's going to be a bigger deal. So, but we shall see. We shall see. And all of us here wish we were there. But we will be covering Star Wars Celebration here on the ATG live show when it's going on, or I guess based on those dates as it's happening. So make sure to join us. We'll be sharing what we know and what we find out. And we're going to want to hear from you, as we always like to do. All right, so let's move to our final story of the night. Now, keep in mind, you can always find all the news stories at the sswnetwork.com. As the stories come out, we post them up on the site, and there's always more stories than we can cover here on our weekly show. But this next one is fresh off the success of Longlegs and The Monkey. Horror director Osgood Perkins has proposed a bold and chilling Star Wars concept. During a recent Reddit AMA, Perkins was asked about a story he'd love to bring to life, given the right budget and technology, and his answer was the collected dreams and nightmares of Darth Vader told as short stories. With his background in horror films like The Blackcoat's Daughter and Gretel and Hansel, Perkins' vision hints at a darker, more psychological take on Star Wars, one that could explore the terrifying depths of Anakin Skywalker's tortured mind. His idea could take shape as either a Disney Plus anthology series or a feature film, weaving together a collection of surreal and haunting vignettes drawn from Vader's subconscious. Anakin Skywalker's transformation into Darth Vader is one of the most tragic arcs in cinematic history, from his childhood separation from his mother to his devastating duels with Obi-Wan Kenobi and the loss of Padme. Anakin endured tremendous suffering before fully embracing the dark side. Even as the Emperor's enforcer, his past never stopped haunting him. Perkins's concept taps into the lingering trauma, imagining the horrors Vader delves into each time he closes his eyes. The Star Wars horror project would be unprecedented, but under Perkins' direction, it could offer a gripping psychological exploration into the world's most iconic villain. I'm going to bring in Chris here because, Chris, tell me where this has happened before, because I know you have something to say about
it. This guy's never read the comics because it's all been done in the comics. Sorry, do a little bit of reading. It's worth it. Like they really delved into the character, like good character studies from Charles Soule's run to Greg Pak's run to Kieran Gillen's run. It's they've done it all already. Just do that. Like, how much more Vader story can you fit? Like, was there a weekend where he wasn't doing anything? Like, everything's been covered. Like, between the books, the comics, the show, and for me to say that my favorite character, I'm like, yeah, we've reached a point.
We got enough. But to me, and Nick and Kelsey weigh in on this, it feels like this is also sort of catering to that weird part of the Star Wars fandom that's like, I also want to see when Vader murdered the children during Order 66.
I want an R-rated Star Wars. It's that
feelings and all that.
And here's the thing, and Chris has said it with comics, and I'll throw this out there too from the book side of it. And I don't know if this was one of the ones that got decanonized or not. I don't care. But there was the Death Troopers book that was about the zombie stormtroopers. Before we got zombie stormtroopers in Ahsoka, the whole, there was a dead ship floating in space that was full of zombie stormtroopers. This isn't a new concept, and this isn't a new anything, but it does feel a little bit like, and like you said, this fever dream of Darth Vader. Like, we get it. Darth Vader, Anakin's fucked up. Like, there's some stuff going on there.
Yep.
But do we need to see it? Do we need to see, and at what level do we need? And it's a fun thought exercise. Everybody has a genre they're into. Horror's not my thing because I watch it and I go, this is fake. I know it's fake. I don't care. So horror's never been my thing. But I don't know. Is it just another version of I wish Boba Fett would just kill everybody and make it bloody and R-rated, or I don't know.
Kelsey, what's your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it's obviously going to be divisive anytime someone does something like that. For a lot of people, is going to be such a departure from what has been done with the IP already. Like, you're going to have people on both sides. I mean, I think if it's done tastefully, it could be fun. I'm kind of excited actually for it to feel like a little bit different, because I don't know, I feel like with the abundance of things that we have to watch in this universe now, like, I mean, we're kind of just like very spoiled, like, and it all feels the same though. Like, I feel like this would be like kind of like the same thing in like our universe, but it feels different than the rest of them. So I don't know, I think it could be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and Matt brings up a good point. He throws in here Abraham Lincoln vampire killer. Like that. Here's what I love about that. That's a very specific, targeted genre kind of thing. We know it's fun. Right. We know it's literally purely just for the exercise. You take a historical thing, you bring in vampires, you make it its own crazy mashup. Like, that's fun.
Yep.
Star Wars and, you know, a Darth Vader horror thing, like, there could be a lane for that. There could be a way to do like an anthology series, a specific 3 or 4 episodes or whatever it is.
Yep.
But it's simply a matter of going, what kind of emphasis are we putting on it? What kind of thing are we trying to turn it into? But, you know, who knows?
Who knows? Well, we are going to leave the news there. Again, head on over to the sswnetwork.com. We put the news in little short 250-word bites. You don't have to read the whole story. Just get the headlines, come and hang out, share those stories when you see them. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Kelsey and I are going to go head-to-head and finish the quote. So we're going to take a real quick break, and we will see you in just a moment with more ATG Live. Well, welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for everything Star Wars. Whether you're looking for the news, you're looking for conversation, looking for games, or you're looking for cooking tips. We don't often do cooking tips. In fact, we have never done them. But perhaps, I don't know, maybe that could be a good show in the future. I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
We're going to teach you how to cook a sloppily soaked Emperor Palpatine action figure.
You know, it looks like you left some behind, and that's probably just dripping off of the Palpatine.
I would say it's soaked into the robe. You know, let's go ahead and fix that.
Oh
no.
Okay, there we go. Chris is we shouldn't even bring Chris back into this. There he is. Yep. Before we get to our game, we love Kelsey. Kelsey, you've been on with us a bunch of times. We've, done the sports ball draft. We've done the straight up, interview appearance. We've had a few minutes. There have been some things that have gone on since the last time we got to talk to you. We got to see Skeleton Crew. We also are on the cusp of Andor coming next month. Give us a couple of minutes. Give us your thoughts on what did you see in Skeleton Crew? Did you like it? Did you, what worked for you? And also talk about your excitement for Andor and what we've got coming up ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really bummed with the release schedule on this one, because I thought Skeleton Crew was really, really fun and I enjoyed it a lot. I think that coming off of The Acolyte, which people seemed to really hate for some reason,
Right.
people were just kind of turned off on Star Wars. And I don't think that it got its due, because it was like a really fun little series. Yeah, like it's not going to be for everyone. Like some people are turned off by children as actors, but I thought that they did a great job. And like I also think that like people marketing it as the Goonies in Star Wars was like a little bit of a disservice, because you come in with those expectations.
Sure.
But yeah, I thought it was really fun. As far as Andor, obviously I'm excited about it. I rewatched all of season 1 like a couple months ago, just actually prior to the election. I don't know, like something had me feeling like something there. But yeah, the show is so well done. I cannot wait to jump back in that universe.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and so let's talk about that for a minute. We talked about the release, Pete and I talked about this a little bit last week. They're doing it. It's 3 episodes a week for 4 weeks. We know each of those 3 episodes are going to be one of the years. Chaco, you're 100% on this. We're going to start writing this. A series of Palpatine streams while he's submerged in my drink. Yeah, there's so much good there. It's really interesting to me because we find ourselves in this weird place with Star Wars between what we usually call, and I don't mean this derogatorily, but like the normies and like the deeper Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is a normie. Pete, I think your dad probably is a little bit closer to being a normie.
Yep.
So for those people, 3 episodes that all pertain to the same time period one week, and 3 more episodes the next week that pertain to another time period, it kind of makes sense. And like, it's tough because I want, 12 weeks in a row, because I want to enjoy it and I want it to last. Because as I've said about streaming for a million years, I'm not mad if you give it to me week to week, but if you give it to me all at once, I'm going to watch it all at once. Like I can't help myself. It's there. I'm going to do it. So this almost feels like that in between balance. The only thing I wish we got was put those 4 weeks in a movie theater. Let me go spend $15 to watch these 3 episodes back to back to back in a movie theater. Let me buy some popcorn and a Coke. Let me do, my thing. I'm really excited for this series to be back. Do you feel like it hits for you more because of the state of the world that we're in, or does it hit for you more because literally it's just that good of a show? Like, where do you kind of land on that? And it can be both, that's for sure.
It's definitely both. I mean, like, how can you be living right now and not say that it's both? Like, I think we're kind of in the middle of a dumpster fire. So yeah, it feels like a little bit more like, I don't know, important, which is weird. But I think it's the Star Wars we need right now. Yeah, and like even talking about like the release schedule, I'm the same way. Like I kind of prefer like a slow burn with it, because you get time to like kind of just digest what happened in the episode week. Like you think of other things that happen and kind of draw back to that, like, wow, that was cool. Whereas when you watch it all at once, like a lot of times you just don't retain most of it, because I mean, I can like name how many streaming shows I've watched where I just binged the whole thing and I couldn't tell you like 4 characters in it. So like I think that it's a better watching experience as a viewer.
If it was up to me, I don't mind this 3 episode drop, because I think it's kind of like getting a new Star Wars movie every week. The problem is I don't know if I want a new Star Wars movie every week. I think if they did it like once a month, like the first Wednesday of the month, give it to us over 4 months, give us a month to talk about it. Like Stranger Things did the first half of their season, and then they waited 90 days or something, and then the next half came out. I think that might have been a little bit better. It'll be interesting to see what the response is, because I think we all want to watch it all at once. But honestly, like it's I never miss a 40-minute episode of anything that I want to watch, but 120 minutes may be a little bit tougher on a Wednesday night or whenever it happens to hit. So, I mean, it's a very different way of doing it, but I'm excited to see where it
if
goes.
I'm being fully transparent, I'm a little bit concerned because I've been very excited about the release of the new Daredevil series, and they dropped 2 episodes yesterday, and I still haven't finished the second one. So if I've got 3 episodes of Andor on deck 4 weeks in a row, I'm probably in trouble already.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool.
But
awesome.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
We're going to play a game tonight, and we're going to get into a little bit of our competitive nature. Kelsey's one of our favorite competitive people, between the sports ball draft, between, just talking smack, because that's what we like to do around here. So tonight's game is very straightforward. It's finish the quote. I've pulled some quotes from Star Wars, things that I think we would know. It's going to be Pete versus Kelsey. I'm going to read the quote out. I'm going to leave kind of, the such and such is blank. And they've both either got a dry erase board, or they've got a notepad, something they can write it down, hold it up. And we're going to do it kind of trivia style, head to head. If they both get it, they both get a point. If somebody doesn't get it, the other person gets a point. We're just going to see how it goes. We didn't think this completely through, but it's going to be fun. So right off the bat,
the winner gets the first pick in the sports ball.
That's right. The winner gets the first pick in the sports ball draft, coming up in the next fall.
Terrible at this. I'm gonna use your excuse right here. So
that's right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Chug the beer. May not get the quotes. And we want you to play along in the chat. So throw your answers in the chat. The deal is Pete and Kelsey aren't supposed to look at the chat to get their answers from there. So we're going to go on the honor system here. Okay. Although Matt says that Pete is about to get his ass whooped. So
I probably have.
Matt's got his confidence in Kelsey right here.
I suck at Star Wars trivia. I really do. I don't know why, but all right.
That's fair. Well, we're going to jump into the first one. Hopefully, we're going to start on kind of the easy level. We're going to kind of work our way. There's no real rhyme or reason here. Right. The first quote is...
Wait, she's got a question. Wait.
Yeah, hold on. Do we have to write who says it?
No. All I'm looking for is the quote.
Okay.
Yep. All I'm looking for is the quote. Accuracy in the quote. That's
and you never know when we're going to change the rules, because apparently that's what we did before.
As they say on Whose Line Is It Anyway, the points are made up and it doesn't matter, or whatever it is they say. All right, so the first one is rebellions are blank.
My handwriting is awful, but I got this one.
Maybe I'll even throw it. I can throw in there who says it most of the time. This is a quote from our friend Jen Urso. Rebellions are blank.
All right. Oh no, she's already worried about it. Oh no.
All right, I see a couple in the chat. I see Andrew says the points are not the point.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Are we ready?
All right, so y'all let me know when we're ready.
All right, ready.
All right, Kelsey's laughing too much, so Kelsey's got to go first. Kelsey goes with the smiley, the sad face. Pete goes with built on hope. That is correct. Pete gets that.
Like 2 words. Like I was just like, oh no.
She was like, I'll do 1 word. Rebellions are bitching. Thank you, Darth.
Rebellions are bitching. Yep, that's a good one. All right, we're gonna excuse me. We're gonna keep it moving. The next one is I am one with the Force blank. I am one with the Force blank.
See, I thought it was going to be like, may the Force be with blank.
No, this isn't a 1-word thing. You're going to have to use multiple words, Pete.
Yes.
As I tell my kids, use your words. Tell me how you're feeling.
All right, I'm ready.
I am one with the Force blank. All right, Pete, you got the first one, so we'll give you first reveal this time.
Here we go.
The Force is with me, correct?
Yes.
There we go. Kelsey got it too. Yep.
Excellent. Is so much better than mine. That should count for something. That should be an extra point.
That's right.
I read like a doctor.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be a good one.
Okay.
It's a little bit challenging. You only get 1 word and you have to give the rest. Wars blank.
Okay, I got it.
Wars, WARS, Wars blank. This is a good one. And I'll go ahead and throw it out. This is a Yoda quote. In case anybody needs a clue, if you need a little help, this is a Yoda quote. Wars blank. Matt just says Star Wars. I like where your head. I like where your head's at, Matt. Yeah, that's right. Star Wars. You didn't say it had to be the first word. You could be the second word.
All right. Got it, Kelsey?
I'm ready.
Andrew says contractions. Yoda snuck them in, didn't he? John has a great answer. John says wars suck.
Yes.
Also great. All right. Kelsey, what do you have for wars? I'm never coming here again. Oh man, we've run her off. We're only 3 in. Pete says, "Make not one great."
No, not make one great. No,
not make one great.
Great.
Yes, that is correct. Wars not make one great.
Oh, see, now I feel bad because I don't know Star Wars trivia, but I think every word is so ingrained in my head.
It's that part where like it's there, but you don't know it's there. Like
right.
it just you can't help it.
Pressure, like I'm just sinking under pressure right now.
Hey, totally works. Let's do this one. The ability to speak blank. The ability to speak blank.
I might have gotten it a little bit wrong, but I know it. And now I'm starting to feel bad about saying I don't know this stuff because I don't know trivia. Like, don't ask me don't ask me the code number that was on whatever, but give me quotes. This is my thing. I finally found my thing. Oh my goodness. All right. What do you got? Makes one not one.
Is it close?
Doesn't make you intelligent. It is Pete went with the contraction. He said it does not mean you are intelligent, but right there.
Okay, well, I didn't get it right then. I got the words wrong.
You didn't get it right. Sorry, pal. Nice
I was directionally correct, but not
I kind of like Harrison Ford right now. Like this is like the level of intelligence about Star Wars that I feel right now.
You're like, what the hell?
All right, because I don't care.
Yeah, because you say Harrison Ford, let's go with this one.
No.
The first half of, no, this is good. It's Harrison Ford adjacent.
I'm hanging up if I get this one wrong.
No.
It's Harrison Ford adjacent. It's why you stuck up blank.
Okay.
Why you stuck up blank. We've got some hyphenated words in this one if you want a little clue. Why you stuck up blank.
I got in trouble for the hyphen on that one because I didn't include it on a graphic.
Oh.
And I'm not including it now.
That's fine. We're not going to count you. Scruffy looking nerd herder. Pete also said scruffy looking nerd herder. Here's the problem. You're both wrong.
No.
In the quote, it says, why you stuck up half-witted, scruffy looking nerf herder. KG got it. The half-witted.
All right, I'm gone.
Half-witted. Yeah, you can't quit because Pete was wrong too.
Come on, half point.
Yeah, you gotta get a half point.
We'll give you half point. That's fine.
All right. Can be a benevolent.
That's right. I'm a nice host. We'll go with that. All right, let's go with this one. Ooh, this is classic. Classic. Prequels classic for everybody who's watching. I don't like sand. Blank. What is the rest of the quote? I don't like sand. Blank. There's more to this than I remembered when I put this together.
Racist start again.
I'd make jokes about like New Jersey and spelling, but I live in Alabama, so I probably can't.
All right. I don't think I have the whole quote. I think I have some of it though.
All right, Pete.
Still writing it. I can just sit there.
All right. We're gonna go with Pete first. Pete, what do you have?
I have it's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Okay.
I feel like I'm
Kelsey,
missing part of it though.
Okay. It's rough and coarse and irritating. It gets everywhere.
Nailed it.
Wow.
100%. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. That is it. Completely nailed it. Well done. All right, we're gonna take it back to the OT. This is a good one. Many of the truths we cling to blank.
I'm starting
Many
to
of
lose
the
it.
truths we cling to blank. KG says sand biscuits.
I used to know this one.
Many of the truths we cling to blank. Matt says our bullshit. Not wrong. 100%.
All right.
This is a family show, by the way. All right, Kelsey, what do you got? Many of the truths we cling to are built on hope. That's an excellent choice. Incorrect, but also good. Are dumb. Pete is also wrong.
I know it. I'm going to be mad when you tell me.
You're going to kick yourself.
Game's dumb.
You're going to kick yourself. Many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Chaco got it.
Chaco got it. Damn.
Yep.
All right. What do you think?
Own
One
point
more?
of view. We've got two more.
Okay, two more. is good.
Actually, we have three more. They're very quick. The first one is your eyes can deceive you blank. Episode 4.
Yep.
Star Wars A New Hope. Your eyes can deceive you blank. Pete's ready. Kelsey's finishing up. I can see
you
it
can
right
go
now.
for-
Like Jeopardy. The song's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go for
Pete,
it.
go ahead and say it while she's writing it down. All right. Here we go. Pete, what do you got? Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. That is correct. Kelsey, when your friends send a stream invite. Also, don't trust them. It totally works. Like it blends together right there.
I mean, it's true though.
Yeah. These freaking idiots can't believe I said yes to this.
Next time we have Kelsey on,
Drew Carey
she's
would
going to
have
write.
given me a point.
Next time we have Kelsey on, she's going to write questions to pit you and I against each other and just laugh as we totally screw
100%.
things up.
Just completely waste it. All right. All right. The last two. These are your clues for the last two. They're both from The Mandalorian.
Oh.
And
This is the
they're
blank.
probably, these are the difficult ones. The first one is, come on, baby, blank. And I'll give you an extra
From
clue.
The Mandalorian?
What?
Yes. Carl Weathers said this. Come on, baby, blank.
I was thinking Han Solo, come on, baby, hold together. But that's hear me, baby, hold together.
Yep. This is a Carl Weathers Grief Karga situation. Come on, baby, blank. And it's not Light My Fire.
I was
Matt,
going to
sorry.
say. Oh, man.
Chaco says he would love to write questions for the two of us.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Well,
make
there
it
we go.
happen, for sure.
We're going to make it happen, John.
Done deal. All right, Pete, what do you got? Come on, baby. What?
Do
the magic hand thing. That is it. Yep. Kelsey drew Grogu. I'm going to count that as a correct answer.
Thank you.
100%. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, both of those count. All right. Here's the last one before we get out of this nonsense that I've created for us. Also from The Mandalorian. Sorry, lady, blank. Sorry, lady, blank. And I'll go ahead and tell you, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian himself, says this.
Wow.
Sorry, lady, blank. Play your Jeopardy songs. Talk about. Matt says, "Sorry, lady, I farted." That's not it. But we're also very mature on this show, so I still laughed at it.
Okay, I have a really.
Oh, KG may have it. KG may know.
Okay, because I
Chaco
don't.
says tricks are for kids.
Okay, what do you got?
Ew, Gina Carano. What a perfect. Actually, Kelsey's right. I don't care what Pete writes at this point. It doesn't matter.
I
Pete,
wrote.
what did you say? Sorry, lady blank. You know, talk to Dr. Jones like that. Okay. You call him Dr. Jones, doll. Yep. Here it is. All right. KG got it right. KG said, I don't something blank. Din Djarin, talking to Frog Lady, says, sorry, lady, I don't understand frog.
Oh, nice.
That was the
that
quote from the show.
That is a good
But
one.
here's the deal. If I look at my sheet, if I look at the calculations, Kelsey won. Pete, you're terrible at this game. Kelsey's the winner. It's just the facts. That's the
I
way
accept
it
it.
goes.
I accept it. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You know what? Like, I feel like you just.
Sorry.
That's it.
All
Okay.
right.
That was a ton of fun. I think, Pete, do we want to drop the link in the chat? Do we see if we got any callers?
Yeah, go ahead, drop the link in the chat. We're gonna run a quick preview of the upcoming podcast episode we did with Ryan McGee, and when we come back, we will do your calls. We have one voicemail, and we'll take your calls from the chat, and we'll be back in just a minute with more ATG Live. Which spaceship from Star Wars do you think is most like a stock car?
One of the greatest episodes of The Mandalorian, which wasn't actually The Mandalorian, was during Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And one day I want to talk to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni about it, because, you know, what they did was they took what was already one of the most amazing, one of my favorite ships, which is like just a Naboo starfighter, and they dropped a Hemi in it. That's what they did. They dropped a Hemi in it. That thing had like a Holly carburetor in it. And so, so that was they basically took Richard Petty's, you know, Dodge engine from 1967 and dropped it into his Plymouth engine and dropped it into a Naboo starfighter. So that's the answer.
And we are back. You'll be able to check that podcast out in the podcast feed probably early next week. We have a little bit of editing to do and stuff like that.
You guys didn't tell me that I was matching. Like, he ran the floor and I was
Yes.
like, oh, this is awkward.
Yep.
He wore the same thing as I did. Who would have thought?
I know, man. Like,
Well, it's just today that I realized that just before I went on that I was actually wearing that shirt again over this T-shirt, and I was like, I can't do that. that would not work out very well. So, yeah. Well, cool. Well, let's take our first call of the night. Chris, I'll let you pop in whoever you want to pop onto the screen for us first.
This
Just get it.
this
Just
may be
get
a
it
short
over
one.
with.
Yeah, let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Here we go. There he is. Honest Claude wearing his DC Universe pajamas, it looks like.
Used to wear the t-shirt.
No,
But- I do have this
Honest
shirt.
to God.
Honest to Claude t-shirts now available.
Almost 2 years anniversary since when I posted my first video of my dad on the channel.
That was a very cool
Amazing.
episode. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like, I've been on, Pete's been on. We've had a bunch of our friends that have been on with you. I will
Yep,
say to
Scotty?
this day, My favorite episode is when you talk to your dad. And, you know, Pete and I talk about our dads on this show all the time. And I love that was the first thing you did. So it was a great thing. If anybody's not checked out Honest to Claude, go do it. Start with that first episode and then work your way through.
Nice.
Hi, Kelsey. I'm sorry you've been tortured by the questions that have been posed to you, but don't worry. I have a rap name for you. You're Kelsey, like Elzai, who made Elmatic in commemoration to Elmatic. That's a little hip hop history for you.
Right.
So, how y'all doing?
We're good. Here, more importantly, we've reached this place where for the first time in like a month and a half now, you don't appear to be laying in bed. So congratulations. I'm glad you're getting over whatever ailment it is that you had that caused you to be like confined to the bedside. You're working your way back to the land.
I mean, I'm still in the bed.
Okay.
Right. But you're not laying down. You're not.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
It's not like a John Lennon, Yoko, you know.
Well,
love-in
how
laying
else
in
will I
the
be
bed.
able to show off the beautiful printed text on this canvas shirt that you can get from TeePublic if I was
See,
lying
there you
down
go.
on the bed? That would be very difficult.
We wouldn't be able to do it.
You guys
I wouldn't be able to tip correctly.
tell them that you're gonna be nice, and then you just like trash everyone. Come on.
Who, us?
Yeah, you.
I mean, I'm no stranger. Like they know me for a while now.
Eric comes into this knowing what he's gonna get. It's fair.
Yeah, so don't worry. I'll talk some shit about them another time. Don't worry,
That's
it's
fine.
coming.
Always
It's
We'll
coming.
take it.
Like I'll probably
That's
make
right.
fun of Pete not reading comics again.
Please do. I definitely
Totally deserved.
I
All right.
deserve it.
Do you have anything that
Conspiracy?
connects anything we've talked about tonight? What are you feeling? What's your hot take for us?
So unfortunately, I don't have a conspiracy this time.
Okay.
Sorry to
fine.
disappoint Chris. I'm not necessarily perturbed by the idea of doing R-rated Star Wars.
Okay.
But it has to be in certain context of how it's presented, because I don't think everything that is R-rated has to be like the most egregious, ridiculous thing possible. Like to me, Gladiator doesn't feel like an R-rated movie, but it is.
Right.
For example, I do think you could do mature themes with something that's R-rated. That doesn't have to be like borderline, nothing like Metalocalypse or borderline pornographic. Like Schindler's List is another movie that's R-rated and is done very respectfully to what the subject matter that it's contending with. So I do think it's possible, but it has to be done very tastefully.
All right.
Totally makes sense.
Well, good. Well, before things
Chris, what do you guys say?
Nothing.
Okay, good. Put your
All
ass
right.
up.
Well, before things get weird, thank you so much for joining us again, Eric. We will see you next week, I'm sure. All right. Take care.
Telling you, man, Eric rocking those Super Friends underoos. It's top level right there.
Absolutely.
I didn't know I was on the roast hour.
Well, now, Kelsey, the more familiar you get with the show, the more you will realize that Eric calls in. Sometimes it goes really well, and sometimes we have no idea what the hell he's talking about, and that's why we let him in every single week. But let's bring in our next caller, shall we?
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
Darth Chaco.
Oh, it's me.
It's you.
There he is, the
Rocking
man, the myth, the
Spider-Man
legend.
hat. How's it going, dude?
I'm doing great. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan, and I actually got up and ran because I wanted to tell everyone to read this book.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I want to take a moment because Chris is agreeing. I'm going to throw this out there. Pete and I are notorious for being anti-comics and borderline anti-like books. And this is the thing. I grew up with the EU. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, like the old EU, all that stuff. Timothy Zahn, like that was my jam. That was my thing. Modern Star Wars books, canon, since it, the buyout and all that stuff. there's been a few, the New Dawn, the Hera and Kanan book, early on.
Chuck Wendig
there's
books.
been a few, the Chuck Wendig books. Like, there's been a few that I've read. Haven't gotten to High Republic. Probably we will never get to High Republic, which is a red flag of mine as a Star Wars fan. But I will say this, and this is my whole point. You're one of them. I have seen multiple people in the last week or two since the preview copies came out, people talking about this book that has just come out, and it truly has me intrigued and interested to read it. So I am very much on board for this.
Yeah, it's like so Alexander Freed is kind of funny because the books that he writes are usually kind of action-packed books, but I don't think
didn't
he's
he
the
do
best at
Alphabet
writing
Squadron?
action.
Is that right?
Yeah, he did Alphabet Squadron and Battlefront Twilight Company, as well as the novelization for Rogue One. But his character work for people in these situations is beautiful. Like, he does so much with the character's inner turmoil and inner dialogue and how they connect to others in the outside world, that I really enjoy his writing style for that. But also, this is like, if you enjoyed Andor, this is a lot of Andorisms in book form. And this is also, you are on the front row of watching the formation of the Empire and the stuff that Palpatine is doing, and how are the people in the Senate handling it? Some people are just like, we just want to not be on his radar, so we'll just go along with it. Some people are fighting back, but stuff has happened to those people, and it's just good. Check it out.
And I've seen a couple of people post that same thing, and that's what I've said before. Part of what I love so much about the Bad Batch was what we saw in those earliest seasons of the earliest formation of the Empire. People had to register. People had, like, all the things that I grew up with as a kid who got the original Star Wars trilogy in the late 70s and early 80s. How did this happen? These are telling those stories between the Bad Batch, between these books. And, that to me is very, very fascinating. So to see some of these early reviews come out of this book makes me really actually intrigued to pick it up and read it.
Kelsey, are you a book person?
Yeah, I was actually curious when you were saying about, like, you liked the Timothy Zahn stuff. Do you consider the new Timothy Zahn stuff like part of what you don't like?
So that's a great question. I grew up in a period of time when we didn't think we would get more Star Wars. And so, of course, those original, the original Thrawn trilogy, all that stuff was a big part. The Jedi Academy trilogy with Kip Duran and all that kind of stuff. But I did read the first two of the newer Thrawn books that are kind of fit within canon, and I like them. I don't have any problem with them. I don't feel like there's a departure from, well, these are good and these aren't. I didn't stick with them just because, partially the time I have to commit to stuff is not great. But no, I don't think that those are bad. And I love Timothy Zahn. So, he created Thrawn. It's a key part of, who he is and what he does. So keep it coming, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I feel like all of Timothy Zahn stuff, I just devour it. It's my favorite. Thrawn's my favorite character. So it's fun for me to live within that universe of Star Wars. So yeah, I absolutely love everything Timothy Zahn does. As far as I gave up on some of the new High Republic stuff. I found it, I don't know, I was getting really bored with the storytelling. I don't know, I guess it was going back and forth a lot with flashbacks from real time and then the past, and I don't know, it jumped around a little bit too much for me.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think in phase 2 of the High Republic, I lagged a bit and I fell off a little bit there, and I think it has picked back up. But real quick, if you're a Timothy Zahn fan, super underrated, but Allegiance is such a good book. I don't know if you've read that yet. That's a really good book from him, as well as
that's one with him and Anakin, right?
Allegiance is a bunch of stormtroopers.
That was the Lion.
Oh, okay. Alliance is the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay.
So sorry, Allegiance is a Legends book, but it's like a bunch of stormtroopers who are really good people and they're trying to do the right thing, and they get put into this weird situation where they're like their commander gets in a fight with an ISB agent and then accidentally kills him. So then they go on the run, and so you're a bunch of stormtroopers, but they're also going around the galaxy like doing good deeds, and like it's and then there's a whole side story with Luke and Han and Mara Jade's in it and stuff like that. It's
cool. I have to check that out. So Chaco, you're still doing the Dyad in the Force podcast, and it's still going on, or?
Yeah. So we're still doing Dyad in the Force every Friday, and then we also do some other stuff. I'm trying to kind of branch out on my horizons to start talking more. I'm into a lot of geek stuff, whether it's Marvel or anime or whatever, and so I'm gonna do some more of that. But no, I just saw you guys on. I wanted to hop in just because I'm really excited for potential announcements to come from Japan.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be able to go there myself, sadly, but I'm also okay with it because I want to go and experience Japan and not.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that. Yeah, you put that in the chat earlier, and I thought that was a great comment.
But I'm curious because we just got announced, kind of what people from Star Wars are going to be there and have panels. Are there any of those that you are going to regret missing out on, or any people that you really wish would show up?
Yeah. I think it looks like they're working on some sort of a I would imagine maybe a Force Awakens reunion of some sort, right? Because what's his name is going to be there? Poe Dameron. I can't think of his name. His real name.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac's going to be there. Daisy, I imagine, will be there. So I would love to see some sort of a resurgence of the sequel trilogy there. What about you, Kelsey? Anything that you're disappointed you're going to miss?
I have not been lucky enough to go to like Celebration yet, so yeah, I'm super bummed that I'm not seeing the whole thing. It's definitely my bucket list, though. I think I went to San Diego Comic-Con for too many years and like kind of invested all of my con time in that.
That's fair.
Love it.
In San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I live in La Mesa, so we're neighbors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I grew up in Southern California. I'm now in the North Carolina region.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Well, Chaco, thank you so much, man, for calling in. You are welcome anytime. And I do want you to write some questions or some quotes or something and put me and Nick to the test so that we can fight each other and not have to put Kelsey through more challenges.
Right.
I think
real quick, I had two ideas for that. Either I can write you questions, I can write you quotes, or if you want to truly lean into the improv of it, I could write you guys prompts and have you guys go off on them and have them
100%.
All right,
that's where I'm at. Yep.
Let's put something together. We'll be why don't we
as a wannabe improv guy, that's where I'm at. Let's go.
All right, cool. We'll talk offline.
Awesome, dude. All right, well, thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Take care. Well, Nick, Kelsey, this has been a blast. Sorry that we we ambushed you once again, Kelsey. Please don't hold it against it. Next time we will. I don't know what we're gonna do next time, but we'll probably ambush you somehow. Just because it's now becoming it's almost fun. I mean, we love you. We love. But we definitely want to keep you close
You wanted to be in a comedy troupe? Like, didn't someone tell you have to be funny?
Oh man! Yes, I'm clipping that and I'm posting it tomorrow.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Well, Nick, who do we have coming next week? Apparently not Kelsey, because wow, that was.
We've burned it down for another 6 months, totally offline. Yes, next week we are going to be joined by our friend Patrick Kottner. Patrick is the producer for the George Lucas Talk Show, Connor Ratliff. They do such a great job. They have been on a heater lately. They've had a bunch of amazing guests on the actual George Lucas Talk Show. They have also been putting together the live readings they did the scripts for all 3 of the prequels. They've got one scheduled coming up in a couple weeks that is they actually did the holiday special. I think not very recently, and so the next one they've got coming up is a live read of Star Wars 1977. So Patrick's going to be with us next week to talk about everything George Lucas Talk Show live reads, which they have done in partnership also with our friends from the Star Wars Minute podcast. So excited to catch up with them.
Awesome. And the Ryan McGee podcast will be in your podcast stream soon, followed also by the video version if you want to watch it on the SSW network. Kelsey, you're online. Where can people follow you and keep up with you?
I'm only on Instagram right now.
Smart.
I got a little fed up with Elon. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And what's the handle there so people can keep up with you?
At Kelsey KELSEY Puck PUCK.
As in hockey puck. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, there's don't forget to go to Broaxium Outpost, order some. There's always new stuff coming out. Use your code ATG10 so that you get 10% off your first order, and you can. There's always great stuff. And Chris is definitely buy it from him. Don't buy it from Target. Don't buy it from Amazon. Don't buy it from anywhere but Chris Ryan's, because it's going to come and it's going to be packed perfectly and you're going to be very happy. I personally guarantee it. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to reimburse you or anything, but I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. Well, Nick, until next time, yes, you're going to buy that shit anyway. That's right. That's right. It. That is the t-shirt. Nick, until next week, may the force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.